I'm Roger.
This is the Florida Cracker Chronicles, and this is a new YouTube channel / podcast of two born and bred Floridians out to share or chronicle the
Chronicle life experiences, what it's like living in Florida.
shenanigans of
Preconceived misconceptions, what it's like being a Floridian.
all the assumptions of the Florida man and whatever a Florida man is.
Who's the skunk ape?
Yeah, what are not squidbillies, but
They're out here.
yeah, I've seen them, and yeah.
Between me and Steven, we have how many years of experience?
Well, yeah, 10 years behind
Close to 10. We'll round it up to 10.
of
Behind a bar. Seen a lot of things. Done a lot of stuff.
yeah. So yeah, and part of the inspiration of this new project that we are taking on is, we get a lot of feedback from outsiders and just people in general about what it's like living in Florida and what there is to do, what's going on, and what crazy stories we have. And we always get asked most frequently, what's the craziest thing you've seen or experienced working behind a bar or in a restaurant or just out in Florida in general, because obviously we're a tourist state, I guess. And our answers usually are, how much time do you have? Because we pretty much, between the two of us and over 10 years, over 10 years of experience of just day-to-day life and work and living in the state, we have like hours on hours on hours of stories that we can just pull out of a hat, and all of them are completely and totally 100% real
And legit.
Yeah, we have photos to document some of it, to prove it, but everything we talk about is completely like real. Nothing is fabricated or made up. There's no exaggerations. Some of this stuff you literally could not think of or conceive or make up unless you're actually there to see it, which unfortunately, and for this podcast and YouTube channel, fortunately, we have seen and experienced, and we want to recount those stories to you guys and hear back from you in the comments and whatnot and your interactions, what you think, what you would have done differently, how you would have handled those situations. And we know that there's millions of other people out there like us in the industry and through Florida, and they do what we do and on a day-to-day basis to go through what we go through. So we'd love to hear from all you guys, your comments about what we say, the jokes, like how you would have handled it differently, how we handle it wrong or inappropriately or incorrectly, if we're complete idiots, if you want to roast us, bash us, cancel us, do whatever, we're here for it.
Hate us because they ain't us.
We get a kick out of reading those kind of comments, and we're here for that too. So yeah, we definitely just want to get our stories out there and share them with you. And what kind of another thing that sparked this was, between the both of us, we've done extensive traveling for different reasons, and always, whenever we're out and about, like in different states and other parts of the world, we're always asked, what is there to do in Florida? What's it like in Florida?
What's it like?
And it always boils down to their
how do you live there?
Yeah. Why do you live there? Do you
why
actually
do you live there?
do you like it? Do you love being there? Do you want to get the fuck out? And usually it boils down to them saying, so do you either just A, go to Disney World all the time, or B, go to the Miami, like South Beach, or just beaches in general? And those are our only two options apparently with living in Florida, is Disney World in Central Florida, Orlando, or South Florida, Miami.
Those preconceived misconceptions.
Which the more and more I hear that kind of stuff, or those kind of assumptions, misconceptions, that just tells me that it leads me to believe that I feel like we're on an island sometimes, for the most part.
It's technically a peninsula.
Exactly. So we're on a peninsula, and we're kind of like, there's a disconnect between us and the rest of the country, which is kind of true. Like, that's why it takes,
like in every aspect of the world.
Right, because traveling out of the state, like driving and flying, well, driving, it takes about 9 hours to leave the state from where we are. Or even if you want to get into the state down to Central or South Florida, it's about 8. It's anywhere from 7 to 9 hours.
Yeah.
So that in of itself just like tells you that, like, we are kind of down here.
We're like from the rest of the country, we're kind of just like down here.
Yeah, we are at the bottom of
But
the totem pole.
we still get the most hate and
Yeah,
love, actually.
yeah, and the whole Florida man. Like recently I was in Asheville, North Carolina, and this guy I just met. It was at a wedding, and he's like, "Oh, where you from?" I'm like, "I'm from Florida, like South Florida." He's like, "Oh, wow." Like, and he's like, "Can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man. What's up?" And he goes, "What is the Florida man? What is that? Are you a Florida man?" And I was like, "Dude,
That's a question
yeah,
in itself. What is the Florida
yeah,"
man?
and I
That's
feel
a
like it's
news
loaded too.
headline. It's like, how much time do you got?
Yeah, where did that come from? Who started it? Who created it? Like, what is it? What is
Who's the
he or
best?
they? Or yeah, and like,
Who wins that
yeah, and like,
contest?
do you have to live up to it? And so he was asking me like what that was about, and I told him, man, it's just like I feel like the internet took it over and made it a thing, and
And it's yeah.
yeah, like story headlines are just
That's why, yeah, absolutely. And
yeah,
also like stuff you hear on the news about people doing drugs and eating people
oh yeah,
in Miami
yeah,
Beach.
yeah,
And you're like,
bath
wow.
salts,
People are like, what the
yeah,
fuck's going on in Florida? We
the
get hurricanes. We have Publix,
the naked homeless man
alligators,
that is
yeah,
eating other people's faces,
and Chick-fil-A
right,
in Chick-fil-A parking lot.
in hurricanes. So yeah, we're here to divulge all of our hours of stories that are pretty much bonkers, almost too like surreal to believe. Like when you're in the moment, like this cannot be happening to me, or I'm not witnessing or
Oh, it's
watching this.
happening
Yeah, everything's happening, and
all at once.
definitely, and basically, like what I've told myself: if you build it, they will come. And
You told yourself that?
well, I mean, from the movie Field
The
of
movie
Dreams,
told you that?
yeah. Which, yeah, I mean, they're like, "How did this happen? Or what happened? Or why did this happen?" I'm like, "Because there's people, and you throw them in a weird society of circumstances, and things are gonna happen. And obviously, the later you're out at night, more weird things will happen.
Yeah.
So
You get to see all the creatures crawl out of the woodwork.
definitely. And if you're
And they
out
slump over the
past,
outside bar with a cigarette.
if you're out past 2 or 3 in the morning, anywhere, I feel like it doesn't really matter where you're at, unless you're like in the freaking woods, which
We
I
call that
wouldn't.
last call here.
Yeah,
If you got there past last call, you're not taking home any winners.
yeah. But
But everybody knows
the
that.
later you're out there in the middle of the night, you're usually gonna see some things that you can't unsee and
You
experience.
see the creatures.
Yeah, and meet some people that you wish you didn't. And luckily for you, or not luckily, if you are in the same boat as us, you've met these kind of people or had these experiences. But we want to share with you ours and hear what you guys think,
Yeah.
feel, and or don't believe. And feel free to call us out on it. And I'm sure we would love to read your comments back to you guys and bring up any issues or unresolved
Ask us questions.
questions. We have answers.
Tell us how you would
That'd be
do things.
that'd be
I
cool.
don't
Like,
know.
yeah, I would love for people to like call BS on us and say, I don't think
And
that.
then I'll bring the
Yeah.
GoPro and be like,
Right,
look.
yeah. That's it. Sometimes I feel like in this,
Look at it.
yeah, we definitely should have had GoPros attached to our foreheads.
Oh my god, the number of times.
Yeah, like not like this. Like I just realized the reason why police wear body cams is because you couldn't like believe or if they told you what they just experienced, you would not believe what they told you
Oh,
or how it
yeah, I
happened.
know.
Until you see the footage and things go from 0 to a million instantly.
In like a half a second.
And
yeah.
unless the footage is there, instead of seeing it on paper or in writing, you're just gonna think, "There's no way."
Yeah.
But wait, here's my body cam.
But wait,
Like,
there's
oh
more.
my god, yeah. So yeah, I feel like probably that would be some backlash for us, but we can definitely prove them wrong. Love to prove you guys wrong. Or if you don't believe, or if you have more questions, we can answer more things, like my esteemed colleague has mentioned. So yeah, we have stories ranging from 10 years of bartender experience, from back of the house, kitchen, serving, attempts at bouncing. That's another story, another day. Didn't go well. To bartending and just being out here in Florida. And we want to start with these stories and then have guests and move forward and see where we can take this. It's not going to be just the bar stories, but more Florida, I guess Florida man stories.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, shedding a light on what it's like down here in the peninsula. Totally mispronounced that.
Peninsula.
Yeah, peninsula.
Peninsula?
Yeah. And keep in mind, we're also
Peninsulan?
byproducts of the Florida public education system.
Peninsulan?
Yeah.
I think there's some of that in the fridge.
Yeah. And it's so derailed. But yeah, stories from the bar to Florida. I don't know if you call them lifestyles or whatnot. Just living out here, what it's like. To like going to concerts, festivals, trips, just random stuff that's happened to us that we've experienced. Just all the nonsense, like shenanigans that we're gonna chronicle through this.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, and we will have guests on here to share their crazy stories that we've never heard of before, but they wouldn't be on this podcast if we didn't believe them or not. Like, we want to hear what their stories are because we know their backgrounds, from like managing to other bouncers to just other fellow Floridians that have seen just random bizarre shit and or have done random stuff like hunting animals out in Florida that you would not normally see or find or come across, and invasive species. That's also a thing down here where you have to get rid of invasive species. It's open season on them because of said circumstances. And that's what we want to deliver to you guys and hear what you guys have to say back to us.
That's what we want.
Hope I'm not being too redundant. So we go into...
I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Well, on that note.
Yeah. We can cut that, I guess.
Yeah, we can cut all that out.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, yep. This has been the intro to the Florida Cracker Chronicles.
Please follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel and listen to us wherever podcasts are sold.
And give us a like or a thumbs down or talk a bunch of shit. Send some hate our way.
And vote for us in the next upcoming election.
Tell us what you already can't stand about us. I say like too much. I've already noticed that about myself. And I probably talk a little bit more than he does, and that's my own problem.
Sometimes I poop with the door open.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
We are roommates, so stuff gets weird.
Oh, yeah, we live together.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
That's how this whole thing came to be. So
anyways.
We digress. Yeah, give us a like and thumbs up.
Like, follow, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your grandma.
Show us to your friends in hospice, and yep.
That's Steve. I'm Rogers. This is the Florida Cracker Chronicles. See you later.